Have you ever wondered why some people can move through life seemingly unaffected, and yet you feel everything? You feel the nuance in the room. You feel everyone's emotions. You feel your family's unspoken tension. You even feel the collective pulse of what is happening. And many sensitive people start to think that something is wrong with them, that they feel too much, or they're just too sensitive, or they're just too much. And they start to think that they need to change this, and they focus on becoming less sensitive. But I have not found that to be the problem. I have found that it's the lack of understanding of how to be with your sensitivity where the solution lies. And after 35 years of working with clients, I've seen this over and over again, that there are certain factors and tips that are really helpful in learning to work with your sensitivity. The first tip is to recognize that awareness is not responsibility. You most likely have incredible awareness of what is going on, what people are feeling, what is the state or the nuance in the room that you've just walked into. But it does not mean that you are responsible. There is a difference. You can be aware, and this is so beautiful. You can be present. You can be compassionate. Yes, please, without taking on any responsibility. So I like to say it's awareness without absorbing. Also, the second thing I've seen in sensitive people often is that they haven't learned yet energetic boundaries, that they haven't realized where they end and another person begins. And so there is this unconscious merging, sometimes just joining with, or there is unconscious absorbing of whatever is present in the space that the sensitive has learned to be like a sponge. And that might have been their role in the family system, or they might have been violated and the boundaries might have been literally knocked down. So there's no blame here. This is just what was learned. And so that you no longer need to merge or absorb other people's energy. And that you really have a right to stay in your own space and learn what your own space is. And it really starts with awareness. Just naming and noticing that you have your own space and you have a right to it. This is your spiritual birthright to exist in your own space and not have anyone else invade that. You don't have to let anything into that space other than that which you choose consciously, that which is loving and nourishing and uplifting. That you have a right to hold a psychological and an energetic boundary without it being a wall. There's a difference. So you are holding this awareness of your space, and you are choosing what enters and what exits your space. You are in charge of this. When you bring this into your awareness, you light this up in your light body, and you have then better boundaries. So this is really important that you remember this is your space. And it is not your energetic role. You can let that go to merge with others, or to take on, or to fix their grief or their anger or whatever it is. But you can be with in a compassionate way without this kind of messy boundary. And you'll begin to realize that your sensitivity is not the problem. Yes, it can be challenging sometimes. It absolutely can be. I was so sensitive. I am sensitive. I was so sensitive, and I was taking on everything many years ago. I got so sick, I almost died. I was sick for years and years. I was taking on everything, trying to heal the world unconsciously, not aware at all. And if you want to read more about my story, feel free to, you can get my book, First Light. I published a story about how I healed myself and the resources and tools for awakening and healing. I'll put the links below. But I had to learn to stop the psychological part, which was the role I had learned through trauma and my family system, that I was the one, the scapegoat. I was the empath. I needed to take everything on. I needed to dissolve the tension. I needed to create harmony. That was my role. And thank goodness many years ago, I learned and I put that down, that was no longer my role. I had to do that to survive, like many of you out there. You have to do, or you had to do whatever it was in order to belong, to receive love, to stay safe. But that time is no longer when you've grown up and you are in charge of yourself. It's different now. And you can say that to yourself now. And now the last tip I'm going to give you that I found that sensitive people, that helps them and that they need, is to come home to yourself. That it's essential that you spend all the time in yourself. Sensitive people have a tendency to be out of themselves, tending to other people always, focusing on others, because that's what sensitive people are trained to do. They're modeled this, they're conditioned this. It's a survival mechanism. There's nothing wrong in this at all, that you've done this at all. And they've not been taught to come home, that it's really okay, that you have permission. That can be a cosmic statement. You have permission to come home to yourself. You get to focus on yourself first, to find out what your needs are, to come into your body, to feel your body, to be home, and to attend first to yourself. You know, when you're on the airplane and they always say about the oxygen mask, put your mask on first before helping the others. You need to get yours on, and then you can help the other, right? And so you want to really begin to sort of excavate this. It has to be done psychologically and spiritually, energetically. There are two levels here. You want to look at, why are you out of yourself? What is the learned pattern? What is your belief? I'll give you an example. Maybe someone has a belief, if I don't take care of others, I won't get loved. I won't be loved. No one will love me. Everyone will leave me. This is very common. And the truth is that anyone healthy will stay with you while you take care of yourself first. And those are the kind of people that you want in your life. You want healthy relationships, and you want people who uplift you and support you in taking care of yourself and say, go, star child. My friend said this the other day, go, star child, to someone. And I loved it. Go, star child, take care of yourself. And we want that. We want relationships where people say, yes, I love your boundaries. I respect that. And you have permission to come home to yourself. And when you come home to yourself, you are literally coming into your body more deeply. You're letting your consciousness drop into your body. You feel your body. You may go slower. And you ground to the earth. You are grounding, and you stay home in yourself. When you're connecting to the environment, the collective, and other people. And this takes practice. You are building what I call the core self, this incredible muscle that maybe you never had permission to even be in. I was so out of myself that I didn't even know what a core was. Years ago, I was so out of body and dissociative for 22 years of my life. I came into my body for the first time when I was 22 years old because of trauma. And I spent my life practicing and learning and healing and dedicating myself. I have a burning passion to help people heal. And what I mean by heal is to come back into wholeness in themselves, not alleviate every symptom. That's not healing. Healing is wholeness, it's integration, it's presence. It's bringing all parts back together in love and welcoming them. And I want to support you in this because life can be so much easier and you can have so much more peace when you stay home in yourself. And what will happen is your sensitivity, it is a huge gift, and it can become your superpower. It is one of the greatest gifts that I have ever experienced, and it is how I do the work that I do, the energy medicine and the channeling and all of the healing and awakening work. I could not do if I was not extremely ultra sensitive. So remember, your sensitivity, it's not the problem. Don't focus on that. You're not too much. You don't feel too much. It's understanding your sensitivity so that you can embody and ground and stay home and have those beautiful boundaries psychologically for yourself, and literally, energetically, spiritually around your space and your light body. And then life is so much easier. And I really would like this to be true for you, and I know it can be. I pray this helps you, and I'm sending you so much love.